what is going on with our purchase of a Toyota Sienna. Now, you've seen us when we've been going to the dealer to look at this Sienna. We found it, we pinpointed it, and we were going to go in and get it. What happened? It disappeared. So where did it go? We don't know. We haven't talked to anybody. We haven't inquired about it. We haven't really gotten any answers. But we did try to go there on the last day of the month to try to work our deal. And that was when we found out that the vehicle was nowhere to be found, at least in our cursory perusal of the car lot. So what we're going to do today is we're going to look at how to follow up. Okay, what we're going to do to follow up without going into the dealership, without being involved with encountering the salesperson and the manager and all the people that start buzzing around when you get there and you start inquiring about a car and they think, okay, we got a live one, we're going to reel them in, So what we're going to do today is show you what to do to follow up. Okay, so first of all, you're going to do some reconnaissance. Now, ideally, you would have wanted to do some reconnaissance early on, and such as making a printout. Go to their website, make a printout of their advertisement for the car. This is the one that we were looking at. Kind of shows all the details about it. Plus we get a timestamp on when we actually looked at this car. So we know, okay, how long ago was it that they had this on their lot advertising it for sale? Then you take that knowledge, put that in your back pocket, so to speak. Now, you don't have to print it out. You can just make a PDF copy, but I would recommend that you take it from the website to your hard copy or to a PDF that you save off on your hard drive or to the cloud, wherever you save your documents. Because if you're relying on their website, it can change at any moment, for better or for worse. So you want to get a snapshot of where that car was in that at that time and what the price was and what the deal was with the whole thing. Then what we want to do is we want to go to look around. We're going to not just look at their website, we're going to look at Facebook. Go into Facebook to your location, wherever this vehicle is that you're looking for, and find the ad. You might have to look around for it. You might have to actually get a mouse that works. Looks like my mouse is trying to give up the ghost on me. Let's see if it is going to work this time. Looks like we have some technical difficulties which relate to a mouse not being able to connect to the computer. It looks like we have success with the mouse connecting to the computer now, so let's dive in. Okay. So we're going to look around. Okay, do we see the car? Yes, we do. We have located the car on social media, at least on Facebook Marketplace. And we want to click in there, check it out, look at it. Here again, we can verify that this is listed 2 weeks ago, which sort of corroborates what we had seen on our hard copy printout from the dealership. Make sure it's the one we were looking at. Pretty certain that that's it. How can we make totally certain? Well, if they have the VIN number in here, you could do that, or you can just see if the details match. 138,279 miles. Just so happens to be the exact miles on our printout here. So we now know this is, by all accounts, the car we're looking for. Now we're going to go look at it again, pull it up, and go down and go into your account here to the messenger. Send a message. We're going to send a message. Now, one thing you don't want to send is the canned message, "Hi, is this available?" like I just did. By way of example of what you don't want to do. First, you want to say, "Hi, when was the timing belt last changed?" This is what we tend to ask all of our potential sellers of the car we're going to look at buying. Why? If you look at our prior videos, you see why. This one here is just a good initial inquiry about the condition of the car. Their answer tells us a myriad of things about what happened with the car in terms of maintenance and in terms of how much knowledge they have of the car. With the dealership like this, we're probably not going to be expecting a whole lot of information from them as far as prior maintenance. However, they might take it upon themselves to answer that a few ways that will be very helpful for us. And one way would be, if they're really on top of their game for customer service, is they might send us the Carfax, which will spell out some of the maintenance history, potentially telling us when the timing belt was changed, but in any case, giving us a lot of information about that car and about its past, all from just asking about the timing belt. Okay. The other great thing about asking this question is that it might spur them to actually go out, look at the car, open the hood, and check to see if there's a label down in there that says when the timing belt was changed. Now, again, we're talking about, this would be somebody that is really concerned about customer service and top-notch, customer-centric activity. So this is what we're looking for. If that's the case, and that's what they do, then you know you have likely a good, reputable place on your hands. So let's go back into this ad and look at how they have put this together. They say that it was a one owner, so they likely have the Carfax. No accidents. 2012 Toyota Sienna Limited with 138,000 or 138K miles. Heated seats, sunroof, navigation, backup camera, third row, and more. Then they go down here and say, "We work with over 30 banks and all credit. Shoot me a message and let's see how we can help. We take trade-ins." Yay. So with that note, if you are expecting to trade in your car, do not negotiate with your trade-in involved until you get the final drive-out price, and then bring in the trade-in. But with that in mind, if you are at all thinking about trading in, to make things go more smoothly, you might consider taking your trade-in car with you to the dealership, and make sure that you take your title with you. If you have it paid off and you own it outright and you have the title copy with you, then by all means take that title with you, but do not show it to them until you've finalized your deal through the rest of the paperwork. And they will tell you when they want to see your title, but make sure you don't produce that until you've already negotiated for the car you're going to buy first, and then for the trade-in of the car you're going to trade in. Another pro tip from driving at home. Now, we see here that they say they're in Chesterton. I think that's the headquarters for the group, for the dealership group. So we're not going to worry too much about the fact that this does not match where we found the car when we were looking around town. However, you might want to remember that if you are dealing with a group of dealers that have several dealerships in their group, that might be one reason why we went to the dealership today or whenever it was and they did not have the vehicle in the lot, because they might be transferring the vehicle from one lot to the other. They might have a porter that came in, took the car, drove it over to another lot, so another customer might be able to see it, and then that customer may or may not purchase it, and they may still have the vehicle. So that's why you want to follow up. If you really want this vehicle, or if you want to really inquire about it, you want to follow up with the dealership to make sure that it's indeed still available, and if it has been sold. And if it's been sold, then you know that. But do not assume it's been sold if it doesn't show up on the lot where you first saw it, because it can always be transferred around to these different lots depending on how serious they think a buyer is at a different lot. We will now check back with this seller. If they respond to our inquiry, then we know that they're interested. If they say it's sold, then that we know it's sold. If it shows up sold, it'll be sold. And having sent a message here will also alert us that it might be sold, because if the listing is pulled down and we go back to our messages, it will show sold or what have you. Now, the final thing you want to think about with this is you might consider that sending a note to a dealership exposes your identity through social media or through email or through any other way that you might contact them, texting, what have you. So therefore, they're going to likely gather your information and load it into their customer database. Now, is that the end of the world? No, but it does put you in their system. So a savvy dealership will see when you come in there in person and you give them your name, they may cross-reference you over to what information they already have, when you already contacted them, what you've told them, and what you've asked them, all the different information that they might have. If you've texted them, they'll have your phone number. If you have emailed them, they'll have your email. If your email says your name on it, then they'll have your name and potentially name, phone number, and address. Who knows what you're giving them. So you want to be cognizant about how much information you're giving them, because they will keep that and potentially use it. Now, in the past, I've seen some dealers are not that well connected, and they do not keep that tight of a record for their customers, but they will tend to say on a slow day, they might slap down a list of customers' names and numbers, emails, Facebook names, and tell a salesperson that's kind of having a slow day to contact all these people to try to drum up business. So you might want to realize that contacting them through this in any way will likely have them contacting you back at a later date to see if you're interested in a purchase or trading in your car or whatever their current program is. So I wouldn't say be afraid of that. I would just say be aware of it, because they may contact you again. By that time, you'll likely have already purchased a vehicle or moved on to something else, you can just tell them that you moved on and no longer needing their services. Thank you very much. As you know, with our methods, we are always very cognizant that we are dealing with a person on the other side of the transaction, namely the salesperson or the manager or the dealership owner. However, it's all business. So we need to realize, and driving it home wants you to realize, that as you go through this negotiation, you can be as tough as you want while being polite and not feel bad about it at all, because you're just trying to get the best deal for you that you can find. And so that's why we actually use some of these methods of dealing with the salesperson to try to influence them to move toward our direction for getting a better price, getting a better deal, making sure we don't leave any money on the table that we could have had kept if we had negotiated just one little extra bit smarter. So hopefully this was helpful to you. If it was, give me a thumbs up. If it wasn't, leave it in the comments below. What would have made this more useful for you and for your family. Until next time, check out our other videos here and make sure you subscribe, because we want to see you come back and enjoy more of our content here on Driving It Home. Thank you.